The way I came across discovering The Tall Guy is interesting. I was watching one of many Siskel and Ebert specials where they bring up movies they label as their own personal guilty pleasures. Titles like Tremors, Lambada, Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, Earth Girls Are Easy, Evil Dead 2, movies they were ashamed to admit they enjoyed, but did. Among the batch that caught my interest that I've never heard of was a British comedy called The Tall Guy. I felt kind of taken back that this movie flew under my radar given the talent behind it. It was created by Blackadder and Mr. Bean alumni Richard Curtis and Mel Smith, carried a solid cast, Mr. Bean himself, who plays a character, and it features a musical about the Elephant Man. Yep, sounds like my kind of flick. Jeff Goldblum is an American actor named Dexter who is sick of being second banana in a comedy review show, sick of his boss who is crummy to him, and sick of his hay fever.
Kill! Kill! Yeah, kill! Oh.
He goes to visit a nurse named Kate, played by Emma Thompson, and after a series of injections, literally becomes lovesick.
I do think you're pretty and nice as well.
See you here at 6 tomorrow then.
From there, Tall Guy channels the norms of romantic comedy, but it's a bit more sophisticated. Sure, it does things beat for beat, but it has the upper hand of going in a more unconventional manner. For one, the past flings that Dexter have were never this intellectual, and the more these two date, they actually feel like a solid couple. I attribute this to the performances. Goldblum is quirky and tense, which plays off Thompson's cunning senses. It's almost as if she's seen this type of guy before and doesn't want to fall for him. The same can be said for Goldblum's character as he flashes back to the girlfriends of his past, which are pure disasters.
Thanks, I think I'd just fall asleep. I'm sorry if it sounds like a feeble excuse.
No, that's fine. I've heard worse.
But unfortunately, my flatmate's really depressed, and if I don't go back, she'll commit suicide. Also, I'm thinking of becoming a nun.
I like how it appears these two have their share of dating experiences, and they try to play it safe on their first night together. But then the next day, they just hit it off, and they start making love. But no, it's not the standard kind. Oh dear, no. They do it in a manner so over-exaggeratingly that it tops any gratuitous sex scene I've ever seen. Food is tossed around, full milk cartons break, stuff gets knocked over, closets are destroyed, and they bang on the piano. They bang while banging on the piano. It is the most insane thing I have ever seen.
Bang, 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 bang.
Richard Curtis, who wrote the screenplay, based a lot of this from his personal experiences from working with Rowan Atkinson, which says a lot given Atkinson himself also appears as Ron Anderson, a famous stage comedian that Dexter works for. Atkinson is known highly for his physical and verbal comedy. This movie does both justice. Not only does his stage show reenact sketches he performed, including some like the blind man bit for Mr. Bean, but I also love the jerky attitude Rowan gives here. He's so uptight about his performances to the point he will chew anyone like pieces of toilet paper. My favorite scene is when he fires one of the actors and they have a small goodbye party for them that is really half-hearted. He says a few words while getting facts wrong and ends up drinking an entire bottle of champagne while everyone watches on. It perfectly summarizes the pompous nature of this slime ball. Tall Guy also shows the hardships of being a stage actor while also lampooning it. Because Dexter is a literal fish out of water, he doesn't have much of an understanding of British culture, especially the types of acting jobs that he's given, that don't really give him much to work with.
Funk off yourself. And the same goes for your friend.
You funk off.
He said he thought you lacked anger.
Well, I don't know. I was pretty pissed off by the end.
This leads to by far the ultimate centerpiece of the movie where Dexter auditions to be in a musical on Joseph Maverick, the Elephant Man. But he doesn't get any role. He ends up obtaining the title role, the Elephant Man himself. And even if we think it's the chance of a lifetime, we start to learn it's a part that doesn't hold much advantage. Dexter doesn't get any lines, he doesn't get to sing, and even if the musical tries to show Joseph Maverick as a misunderstood being, it distastefully and hypocritically parades him around just for the audience to gawk at. It's like if the Phantom in Phantom of the Opera was never given any lines and just showcases a freak. And the icing on the cake?
Take a deep breath, prepare for the worst. The ugliest man in the universe.
Jeez, there's no way you would get away with a makeup job like this. At least if one was doing an Elephant Man musical. In his original review, Roger Ebert compared this segment akin to the Springtime for Hitler scene from Mel Brooks' The Producers, and I can see why. As the show plays on, it cleverly cuts back to the reactions of Kate and Dexter's landlady, Carmen, who both watch on. Kate is in shock over how Dexter is treated, but Carmen eats the whole thing up and enjoys it. We don't need to see the audience reactions of the whole thing. There's already a good idea alone just in these two. It perfectly summarizes the split reaction with those laughing at it and those enjoying how bad it is. It even goes as far to have a tap dance sequence with people dressed in Elephant Man costumes. This truly is the stuff that dreams are made of. For all the Tall Guy's twists and turns, there's one minor issue I have with it, and it's in the last third. The movie itself follows in the footsteps of romantic comedy with boy meets girl, they hit it off, and here they follow those steps but take different and a more amplified direction. Even right down to a random montage set to Must Be Loved by Madness, and it randomly cuts to characters singing the song. But all of that nearly grinds to a halt when the final third kicks in with the traditional breakup and makeup situation. You know the drill. Both characters break up the relationship over something, one or the other mopes around, and then by the end, they get back together. Thankfully, this movie has the upper hand because there is a reason for it. Dexter has an affair with one of the actresses, and once Kate finds out, she breaks up with him. It's a classic cliché. We know they'll get back together and all that, so there's not much surprise. What is surprising is even when it does traditional beats, they still add a unique spin to it.
Yeah, give him another chance. You're only young once.
Go on. You might be hit by a bus tomorrow.
There's the gratuitous talking to friends while depressed scene with a blind man. It's both funny and kind of charming on its own.
Every girl I've spent time with looks a spitting image of Mae West.
I think tearing our eyes out is the answer.
Every time.
And there's plenty of good jokes near the end that hold at least enough interest.
Excuse me, sir. Have you any idea what speed you were doing?
Yes, sorry, I've got to get to the hospital.
My God, yes, you poor thing.
Even if Tall Guy works with tradition, it still succeeds in being different from the other romantic comedies that came before it. It's taking old beats and going in a more absurd way with them. Maybe that's why it didn't do well upon release. It was not a big hit at the box office in both American and British cinemas, and it was kind of swept under the rug despite some decent to mixed reviews. It's also a shame the version over in America is edited, as I feel that cut takes away bits of comedy from Goldblum's character and key moments which elevate the tone. Even right down to a cameo by Madness band member Suggs, who's only exclusive in the original UK cut. If you have a way to watch the original UK edit, that's the one you want to check out. I'm certain you'll find it online somewhere. Personally, I feel this is a pure diamond in the rough, and given how much Jeff Goldblum and Emma Thompson's nobility as well-liked celebrities had built up to now, it still surprised me to see how underrated this movie is. There's good comedy, heart, and carries a lot of rewatch value. For a rating, I'll give it 4 out of 5 tap dancing elephant men. If you want something different for a date night or have a love for the stage theater life, this is worth giving a try. After all, this is truly a movie you should see.
It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best.
Cut.
Excuse me? You were brilliant. You were just brilliant.
Thank you very much.